Is this
All right,
so the official end of training camp now? And
that is, now it's switching into game week. So as we get ready for game week, you know, I'm pretty pleased how training camp went overall, development effort of our guys. I tell you, I'm a big fan, talking to our coaches, talking to our players, of the schedule. You know, I know a lot of the NCAA changes they make, and there's still a lot of discussion. I don't know that we had less contact. We didn't have any two-a-days, which we had before, but we didn't have any probably less contact than we've had in any other camp. But I think the extended time of training camp, the ability to space it out and create a schedule, talking to the players, they enjoyed it. Talking to the coaches, they thought it was very beneficial to learning. But most importantly, talking to our trainers and our strength staff, least number of injuries we've had, least number of soft tissue injuries we've had, dehydration, any of that stuff, because of the amount of time and the potential to recover. Not just, if you look, when you have that extra time, give us the opportunity to have not just the 1 day off a week. Actually, in a lot of cases, we have more than 1 day a week, and we were able to space out different recovery times for players. For example, after a scrimmage, sometimes 2 days off, 1 day of meetings, 1 day player off day. And I think that was very beneficial health-wise for our players, recovery-wise for our players. So I think the schedule worked, and I hope the NCAA doesn't take a step backwards and put the players at risk moving forward by shortening that window of opportunity for the players to get and do that. Also, the ability within final exams, you know, because our class schedule is different than a lot of people, to be able to fit it in the most beneficial way around academics as well, to give them time off to go take care of academics when needed to take care of academics. So
now you're giving them a couple days off as well.
now to get a little break, to get a chance to go see their family. You know, I think that's that's a huge one, opportunity right now. We'll do a mock game, like kind of a game walkthrough and prep everything in the morning. Then they get the rest of the weekend off. Got to go to school, obviously, but get the rest of the weekend off, have an opportunity to go home, see family, get a little bit of a breather. So, injury report, I know you guys love that for game one, so I'll give it today for game one instead of Monday. I usually try to give it to you guys first. The only guy talking to our trainers that they think is that's doubtful or probably not going to play in game one would be Malik Deer. He's still recovering from that ACL in the off season, so. Within our training staff, they believe everybody else will be ready for game one, ready to play. And, you know, obviously there's another whole week of practice or them doing whatever, you know, over the weekend. Hopefully nobody, you know, gets hit by a bus or something, knock on wood. But he's the only one. And hopefully, you know, we still haven't made the decision on Malik of where he'll be this season. You know, they think he's ahead of schedule. I don't expect him in the first 2 games, but then after that, we're going to have to make a decision, I think, after, you know, as it gets going of where he's at. Is it going to be he's kind of ready game 3 and 4, or is it going to be not ready to 7 or 8 and make our decision at that point?
What has he done in these last couple of weeks?
He's been running. He hadn't done any practice stuff,
No
just
practice.
running with the trainer stuff.
Okay.
Does that include Abram? Because I hadn't seen him.
Everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Landon
I'm sorry, Landon Guidry. No,
Okay.
it doesn't include Landon Guidry, who tore his ACL in camp. So Landon Guidry is the other one. Is the other one that's out. Try to make sure I'm not shortening you guys on people. You know, Harry Parker as well. Harry Parker had an infection in his elbow, spent a couple days in the hospital, and has missed practice. We're not sure with what he has whether or not he'll be available, but there's a chance he and both Landon were possibly in a red shirt anyway, so I think that'll probably just increase the Landon for sure, but you know, Harry as well. Of possibly redshirting. So, but Malik's the only guy that we expect to miss any time.
Seen any separation from your place kicking battle?
Nah, I think they're doing good. I haven't looked. To be honest with you, I haven't gotten to check the exact stat sheet, but it still looks pretty close to me. You know, from the naked eye, I haven't gone through and checked every single statistic analysis of it. You know, that's something to get done over the next couple of days. Just let them keep kicking and not, because it's still, it'll probably be a game time deal. You know, it's not something that has a big effect on people, you know. I say you're the guy right now, everybody else goes in the tank, we walk in the stadium and he can't hit a kick because it's game day pressure, then, you know, I kind of ruined the entire kicking department. So.
You mentioned last week about a decision might need to be made. Who's going to be your number 2 quarterback and things?
Yeah.
Will that go into week 1, or is that
probably might go into week 4, 5, 6? You know, I mean, if I tell you what, if the NCAA had the rule of the 4-game rule, which, you know, really again benefits student athletes, You know, if we could benefit the student athlete that way, it'd probably make decision a lot easier.
You mentioned the lengthy preseason practice schedule. The assistant coaches said that helped the learning process.
Mhm.
Why do you think that was? What
Well,
about
because
it?
there's time to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about timing, you know, I mean, instead of saying, hey, we have this really short time, here's everything, you know, I mean, that's why they don't teach, you know, biochemistry in 3 weeks. Just like anything, right? I know you guys are all, anybody struggle with biochemistry? No? But, you know, I mean, that type of deal, I think the ability to take time and teach instead of having to try to get as much in a short period of time, I think helped the players, you know, of them absorb stuff. And we, you know, did things different. I mean, just the number of days, you know, to be able to take a day every once in a while to digest it for the players, you know, in a day of where we didn't, you know, we had several days where we didn't practice, but it wasn't an off day. We just had some meetings. They could lift. They had some, especially when school's in session, that they could take care of some academics and get caught up on some football and really have a mental day.
Several players have talked about Jesse Jackson having a good camp.
Uh-huh.
Now that he's healthy and he's showing that he can be productive. What have you seen from Jesse?
I have it. You know, I think he has. He's really come along as a guy that we're, you know, that I don't say trust because he's always a guy you could trust, but I think that really gets it now. Understands the speed of the game, understands how to play receiver at this level. Major impact player now on special teams. You know, a great program player that has bought in to do everything the right way, and it shows in his performance out there on the field.
Do you think Austin Williams is a guy who can help you guys this year, or is he a redshirt guy?
Still, everybody, I haven't made many decisions on who's going to play or not play this year with that. But he's worked hard. You know, I think graduating early certainly put him in a position to be ready to play. You know, one of my big beliefs in that as well is redshirting. There's two things that go in. Number one, obviously, are you ready to play? Is a big one. Two is, are you going to play? You know, and both of those weigh in, you know, and that's the decision we make as a staff. One, okay, this guy's ready to play. Great, if we're going to play him, let's go through. Show me the two special teams he's at least going to start on. Let's see what is his roles, what are the snaps we expect to get in the course of a game. And, you know, I think obviously, again, like if the NCAA changes that rule that you can play up to 4 games and count it as a redshirt year, I think that would benefit student athletes and would change how people did a lot of things.
Do you have an update on Chauncey Rivers this year?
No. He's still, I mean, he's ready to go, so if we know anything, we'll let you know.
I know you have a lot of other stuff going on, but Cowbell Yells next week. Can you talk about the way that tradition has grown over the years?
Oh, yeah. What day is that?
Next Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Boy, that first Thursday grinds me. Yeah, because my first radio show, which I got to get used to, right? So I appreciate all you guys with great calls, and I love all the callers that call in. At Veranda, we're Veranda. There we go, at the Veranda. Don't miss Dog Talk with Dan Mullen at the Veranda. Chef Jay's going to have a great special. Then all of a sudden I got to go to Starkville Quarterback Club right after that. You know, you guys really got to get out to those guys because they ask a lot of the same questions you are. I guarantee. Where's the kicking battle at going to be? What about, you know, where's their status of this guy or that guy? And then Cowbell Yell that night, which unfortunately is, you know, I love being on a college campus because I feel young. But Cowbell Yell, what time's that at, like 9? That's like close to bedtime for me now. I'm getting older. No, it's actually a great tradition. It's a lot of fun. It's a really neat deal. The juice, the energy, the student body. You know, one of the things that to me makes Mississippi State such a special place is the environment, the energy our students bring to every single game. They really set the tempo. You know, when you get into Cowbell Yell and you have the students and the band in there, they set the tempo for the rest of the crowd. You know, their energy level, as they raise it up, they raise up the rest of the crowd. And that's always been a top priority for us when we got here. And then you see it as it continue to grow, the passion our students have, and they're a big part of us winning games. So Cowbell Yell, it's a lot of fun. We have a great time with it all, and they usually have some pretty entertaining people come back. Booby Dixon. This year. They'll be grinding for his state out there, and, you know, hand Booby a microphone. I mean, that's must-see any television, you know. It's like Robert Johnson right now is playing in Germany. Rojo in Germany should be a reality TV show, I think. you know, all of that's fun, and it's a really good deal. And I think it helps a lot of the newer students come and kind of understand the traditions and what goes on game day with what makes it so exciting.
Obviously, you still got another week to prepare and get ready for Charleston Southern, but at this point right now, with camp basically over, your thoughts on your team, how do you feel about this year's group?
I want to see us, you know, you've gone against each other for so long. I love the attitude our guys have right now. I love, we're playing a little bit harder, the energy we play with, how they come out to practice every day. Obviously, that's got to translate now. You know, we don't play against each other. The next time we'll have an opportunity to really play against each other would be bowl prep. So the next 4 months, our offense doesn't go against our, you know, we don't have to execute against our defense. We have to execute against everybody else's defense. Our defense doesn't have to stop our offense. They have to stop everybody else's offense. So how our guys and a lot of our younger players, you know, and like I said, I mean, we have some veteran players, but we don't have a big senior class, you know, and even though guys have been on the field, how those guys transition now from where we're at in camp and going against the offense and defense, going against each other every day, how we transition that into game planning and applying that game plan from week to week, I want to see. But I think our attitude's been fantastic. Our effort, things that are important to me, I'm pleased with.
Do you know who your 2 starting corners are going to be?
No. But I do feel good about a couple of them. I imagine you're going to see about 5 of them in the first game. You know what I mean? If we get it going, to see those guys be able to roll through and rotate through. So I'm not as, you know, but you guys know me. I'm not as caught up in starting as much as I am playing, you know, or finishing. That's the, you know, I mean, you want to be on who's in the game on the final drive. That's the most important time to be on the field than the first play of the game. But I know it's kind of a neat. You get all the statistics. You get like right credit to start. You get your name on the jumbotron. So I know that's important. So I'll be conscientious of that next week.
Have you done any real install on the Charleston Southern game yet?
No, just I have next week on that. I mean, we offensively and defensively. We see probably a little bit here and there without doing it with the guys, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? This week we started doing scout team, where what we do is offensively is try to get looks we'll see, not just from Charleston Southern, but just general, a lot of looks we'll see from people that maybe our defense doesn't play. Defense the same way of getting some looks that our offense doesn't do and just starting to install things, but not game plan specific to Charleston Southern, more kind of general, but some of their stuff will be in there on both sides of the ball. We've done some of that, but as far as game plan specific, we haven't.
You ended up with just the one high school offensive lineman signee
Mhm.
who ended up on campus. Is that a product mostly of how difficult it is to recruit offensive linemen in the SEC?
Almost product of the guys not taking care of business in the classroom.
I gotcha.
More than anything else. But, you know, I mean, for us, we have a pretty good young offensive line with only one senior on the offensive line. On the entire roster, it's not as big a deal for us.
But with development, though, do you think that's kind of hurts you as far as like next year or in the future?
No, because again, the guys that are out on the field this year are the same guys that are going to be there next year, and a bunch of them are going to be there the year after that. So, in the short term, no.
Thank you.